Go kick it. Yeah, kick it all the way. All right, that's my son. That's my son. He's in a cameo in most of my videos, apparently, or as it seems. Hello, YouTube subscribers. It's Brian Mounts once again. As you know, regular subscribers know, I run this channel, Turf Mechanic, and I also run turfmechanic.com. On turfmechanic.com, I have more structured posts than the videos that you watch. The videos you watch, although they are educational and as accurate as I can make them on the fly, the website is more structured, and you're just going to get probably more likely exactly the information that you're looking for. Today, I want to talk to you about two blowers. Today, I'm looking at the Ego. This is the 650 CFM blower. This thing runs 180 miles per hour according to the box. This is the SunJoe. It's not quite as robust, but it is significant. These blowers I actually own and use. I've bought them all. This is 100 volt. This is 56 volt. The thing is, though, that this is not rated as high for CFM or miles per hour. I'll throw it up on the screen so you can see it. But this is cheaper. This thing is almost half the price. So tool only, let's say you own like the lawnmower and you don't need to get a battery for it. Tool only, this thing is $119 as of recording today. This is $199. Hey, what you going on? You want to grab your ball and go play while I make the video? Go kick it. Yeah, kick it all the way. All right, that's my son. That's my son. He's in a cameo in most of my videos. In any event, almost half the price of this to this. So this right here, I've got my a 5 amp hour battery in here. This is the big battery from the SunJoe lawnmower. It fits it. You can get a smaller 2.5 if you buy the blower with the battery. There's the battery on the side. Now, as you can see, the batteries, as they fit in there, the SunJoe just feels bigger. Even if you were to put the smaller battery, which is a little bit thinner, it's still going to have this like weighty bulk to it. I don't know. It's wide. It's wider than this one because the battery goes in that way instead of that way. I don't exactly like that. Both of these have similar size batteries in there right now, but this one just feels lighter and it feels easier to hold. I have used this on, this tree hasn't really started dropping many apples yet, but I've got a plum tree over there that's dropping kind of dud plums before they're ready. I've used it over there. I've got another apple tree over there that, I don't know, it seems to shed leaves all year long. Like the tree is completely green, but for some reason there's always leaves on the ground underneath it. So anyway, I've used this on those. I've used this on all of the same areas. So anyway, I also use both of these when I'm cleaning up grass clippings after I mow. Now, I've got a lot of videos on this channel about battery powered mowers. I am a big proponent of battery operated tools. I think they're cleaner and easier to maintain. I think they are more worth your money. Make sure to take a look at, what is it, my upper left, somewhere up here is going to be a card pointing to my battery mower video. You can also take a look at the website where I review them all. But right now I'm going through a series on these. And I think these are very comparable. They are almost identical units compared to the other battery blowers that I have tested and used. Both of these have variable speed. So let's say you can start on low and you can vary it up to high, and then they both have a trigger operated turbo setting. So here on the Ego, let me make sure everything is on there. On the Ego, you can turn this on and you can turn it up high. And the trigger turns on the turbo. The same exact thing happens here. except for I like that this is all one thumb. Like you can operate the whole thing without moving your hand or using a second. I love that. Right now it's on, it's off. I can turn it on. And I can turn it up to high. And then I can turn it to turbo. That is a really cool feature. Like seriously, the whole thing can be done with just your thumb while you're holding it. I really, really like that system. Now, having said that, this one is better. It just is. It just is. On the low side, now I've got my own little special test. I don't know how scientific it is, but it's the test that I use. I take these blowers and I blow them straight down into a kitchen scale and I measure how much pounds of force the wind is putting on the scale. On the lowest possible setting on both of these, they are very, very similar. Let's see, that's the wrong note card here. The Ego puts 10 pounds of force on my kitchen scale on low. This puts 9 pounds of, or 9 ounces, 10 ounces and 9 ounces. Very, very similar. It's a very true low setting. Decibel readings on the low settings, this one is quieter. Ego, it runs at 77 decibels on super low, and SunJoe is up at 81. So these are in line with the more, I don't know, the louder battery powered mowers, but only on the low setting. So as you dial that up to high, the Ego will get up to 89 decibels and SunJoe suddenly becomes quieter at 86. And pounds of force, the Ego gets stronger once you get it up to high. 2.9 pounds versus 115, 1 pound 15 ounces. So once you get to high, this is significantly stronger than this. And then once you bust on the turbo mode, then it gets even, I don't know, this even goes better. You get up to 310 a pressure versus 212. So if power is your thing, this is very, very much more powerful than this. Decibel readings, they end up being similar on the turbo at 92 decibels versus 90. Pretty loud, but still nothing like a gas-powered blower or trimmer or mower, whatnot. But anyway, it's mostly about the power. This thing is much more powerful than this. It's lighter than this. Like you can feel the difference. It's not a huge difference, but you can feel it. And once the blower turns on, not only are you holding it, but you're actually like pushing against the wind. So it's easier to hold it for a long time like this than it is to hold it for a long time like this with it running. And that really adds up in the end. This feels lighter. This is a smaller kind of form here. You know, I don't know, it feels nicer to hold. The difference here, I mean, you can hold that with 2 hands if you really want to. Even though it's not exactly the most ideal place to hold this thing. But I just like this one better. And I know it's more expensive and all, but I do just like it a bit better. Now, when it comes to other things, they both have clips. So you can stick like a clip here to, you know, to have a shoulder strap. SunJoe offers the same thing. You got 2 clips, one on either side. I would say that this really is a really, really good alternative, alternative to the Ego. It is cheaper, but it's very similar in every other way. Low setting is very important, I think. I mean, yeah, you want to really like, you know, rip leaves and fruit out of the grass, but not always. I mean, I got a garden back here. I don't want to mess up mulch beds and I don't want to overblow like delicate things. And this offers you a low, this offers you a low. The difference is the price here is so significantly less that if you don't need the extra power that the Ego delivers, then this will work just fine. If you don't mind an extra pound or 2, I don't know exactly what it is, it's pretty close, but this one is slightly heavier. If you don't mind that heaviness, then this is fine and you're going to save a lot of money on it. Not to mention the fact that if you switch down to the smaller battery, this is a a bigger one. You could switch to the 2.5 and drop some weight. This is a 5 amp hour battery. You could switch down to a smaller Ego battery and save some weight too. I just think that this is going to last a little bit longer. You get that same low setting on this that you get with this. You get the same, you know, cruise control options. This one is actually even a little bit more versatile because you don't have to use the dial if you don't want to. You can use the trigger. And you get all the different like in between high and low settings that you want just by how much you push that trigger in. You get an extra tip here, which you can take off. So you got a smaller, you know, directed airflow tube, and then you've got the slightly wider one. You don't get that little feature with this. SunJoe, it's just the one tube, you know, just one. So I don't anticipate ever changing the tube out, honestly. I just don't. The way that I use it is, it's just fine the way it is. But some people that matters, you know. If it matters to you, then the Ego is another reason to go up. So again, tool only, you're looking at a couple $100 unless you can find this thing for sale. Here, you're looking at about 120 unless you can find it for sale. Definitely find them on sale if you can. I buy these things just full retail price in most cases, simply because this is what I do. I want to give you the best information I possibly can based on my personal experience with these things. The battery systems, this works for the battery mowers as well, obviously, since they all use the same batteries. These batteries, I keep hitting that button. These batteries on the Ego machines are just better. These are the best batteries of them all. The Ego lawnmower is pretty good, but it's not my favorite lawnmower. But the batteries are fantastic. They charge so fast and they last so long. They are heavy, but they're not excessively heavy. The SunJoe battery is good. It's just not as good. I guess I should say, I mean, the SunJoe battery comes with this nice little, it doubles as a power bank. So if you wanted to plug your cell phone into this to charge your phone, you could. It's got 2 USB ports right there. Some of the other companies like Greenworks and things, they don't offer that unless you buy a separate tool to plug the battery into. So that is a nice little extra feature on SunJoe's system. SunJoe also has a lot of equipment that these batteries run. So if you want to run like a snowblower in the winter and a lawnmower in the summer, and a leaf blower in the fall, hedge trimmers, all of the other things, there's lots of other stuff that these batteries run, which does make this more of a compelling buy. But if I was only going to buy one thing and I was just a leaf blower, I would probably spend a little bit more for the Ego. But it's a toss-up. Neither one of them are the strongest. You can take a look at the Toro. That one is definitely the strongest one that I've tested yet. So coming up here really soon, I'm going to do a big, let's say a mega video where I show all of the blowers here in the video. You can take a look at that. Those are always a little bit more complicated to put together because there's so much to say about each individual unit, but they are pretty interesting. So make sure to subscribe. You can watch that video when it comes out and watch the other videos. If you're blowing stuff around the lawn, then you're probably doing other stuff out in the lawn too. I post lots of videos on tending to the grass and even the garden back here. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.